Ravi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ravi. Ansika, yesterday you said the house is only 2 minutes away. Why are you not here today?
Welcome to MC Music Group.
Please sleeping.
Bluetooth mode.
It takes long. Our house is 2 minutes away. Her house is yeah. Means that if she wanna fight with me, and then you will get straight to her.
Connected.
Cousin fight. The worst fight. Um, I never want to be part of cousin fight. Even if it is between my daughter and my niece, I say, keep me out of it. You guys handle it. I don't get involved. They will become friends again, and I will become stupid, if I say anything, either on this side or that side. So I always say to them, you guys handle it. Don't involve me.
But her that friend is cut off.
Cousins don't confront each other with katta, especially when that's this normally happens in villages for zameen, for land, you know.
Mostly the other one Patidar.
Yes. Gutia. Gutia fight.
But when they're fighting, they're called Patidar.
Okay. When they're family, they're called Gutia. And when they're fighting, they're called Patidar. Okay. I didn't know this vocabulary difference. We use the word Gutia for everything. Gutia ke tarh lad raha hai. All right. I think Gotia word comes from the word Gotra. Ek hi Gotra ke hai, isliye Gotia. Yeah, that's what I think. But I'm not sure it is right. Tomorrow.
Like Vishwakarma, not Vishkarma. I Vishkarma.
Hello, Rasana. Vishwakarma Puja tomorrow. So do you want a holiday?
No.
Then? Oh, you have a school.
Good evening, sir.
That is good. That because today our exams and I got a holiday tomorrow. Tomorrow is not holiday.
Ayushi, welcome. Yasmin ma'am, welcome. So shall we start? Did you watch the video I shared? Uh-huh. Yes.
The food you eat are
You are what you eat.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you questions if you have watched. And if you don't answer the questions, you lose money.
Not in this.
No, you have to. It was homework. No, no, no. Can't accept those excuses. Can't accept those excuses. You have to answer the questions.
Okay.
Then physical punishment. Then physical punishment. I don't care. Like I said, if you don't answer the questions, either you get physical punishment or you get financial monetary punishment. What do you want? How much you have is irrelevant. The fine will be 10 rupees for each question that you don't answer. Get your pen and paper ready, guys. So I'm going to play the video and I will pause and ask questions. The video that I shared, and you have to send me your answers, everyone. And if you don't send your answers to me straight away, then it will be considered you do not know the answer. And you'll have to pay a fine. Look,
They have feel
yeah, of course.
actually punishment that if
Ayurveda, I'm going to play a video and the students will watch. They have already watched. It is in the group. And they will answer the questions I ask. If they fail to answer, then they deserve punishment, naturally. The punishment will be of two kinds: physical punishment or financial. It means fine. So whatever they please with, they will choose. They can pay me money or they can get punished physically. Choice is theirs.
physical punishment.
No problems.
And online students also choose physical.
Online students can't choose physical punishment because I cannot punish them physically. You know? Yeah.
How can you?
Especially for young boys
I
and
can,
girls.
sir.
Zafri has got
I
a stick
have
there.
it.
Okay. This rule is for young people who go to school. This rule is not for those who have already graduated from school. It is not for Tawheed, it is not for him. Okay. Physical punishment is not an option for them.
Sir, because of they are dheet.
They are
Dheet.
heat.
Heat,
Did he use the word heat?
rigid.
Yeah. And we have
Sir, in my
Auntie.
village, in
Uh-huh.
my village, it is called Latkhor.
Yeah. You do the same thing despite getting punished. Then we use that word for someone. Not because they make a mistake. Yeah, mom's favorite word this is. It is mom's favorite word for their children. So shall we get started now? I'm going to I will have to answer your questions too. What was your question? You're reading a book. Yeah, there are words that you don't understand.
Hard for me to understand while reading. I have to focus. Very hard to understand the book.
Whenever you come across an unfamiliar word, that is how you will feel. That's normal. Where is the problem?
Like, there are lots of word comes to that book that I'm not familiar with.
That's why you're reading, so that you can slowly become familiar.
So I want to.
You are describing the process as the problem.
No, I want to know how can I learn those words.
By reading.
Like,
Sleep one day, okay, and you will have dreams about those words and you will become familiar with them.
No, I want to ask.
No, there is a special, yagya that we will do, okay? I will be the Purohit, you will be my judgman. Teen पैरों वाला मुर्गा you need to bring, okay? 75,000 रुपए, okay? काला मोती जिस पे white दाग हो, okay? These are the things necessary, essential for the yag, and I will put you to sleep, okay, for 2 hours, and then all the words that you are not familiar with, you will become familiar with them. What nonsense! You didn't mean anything. The problem, let me explain again. You are describing the process as the problem. A woman says, I have to chop the onions, then I have to fry the chicken to make chicken curry. Yes, that's the process. You have to chop the onions, you have to fry the chicken. If you want to cook chicken curry, you can't skip these steps. These are part of the process. So we are Indians. Our mother tongue is Hindi. We are learning English. So there are lots of words that we are not familiar with. How do we become familiar with them? when we allow ourselves to be exposed to those words, there are two ways. Either we can be exposed to those words through our eyes or through our ears. Some of those words, that we are unfamiliar with are not common in conversation. So we will not hear them. They are only common in reading. So you read and you become familiar with those words. You don't read, you never become familiar with those words. Let's talk about Hindi. Rasana is Italian. Diana is, Ukrainian. They don't know any Hindi. Suppose they learn Hindi, okay? They start to have conversation in Hindi. Does it mean they know a lot of words in Hindi? No, they will need to learn a lot of words which we don't use in our conversation. But they want to be good at Hindi. So they'll have to read stories. They have to read words like paritoshik. Now, in conversation, we simply say inam. We say prize. But when we write, then we say paritoshik vitran samaro. So how will you become familiar with the word paritoshik if you never read that word? Right. Paritoshik Vitran Samaro means a program, a ceremony where prizes will be distributed. So how do we become familiar? When we read. And when we read, do we know the meaning? No. We have to learn. We have to ask somebody. We have to look them up. Next time when we see them again, better. Sometimes what happens, you come across a word and you don't look it up. You don't ask anybody, but you still understand the message of the text that you're reading. But that word was registered in your mind once. Yes, you saw that word. The same word appears again in another text. Again, you don't look it up because you still understand the message, the overall. Over these 5-6 exposures, now you have developed some sort of understanding of that particular word without looking it up. I know so many words in English that I never checked in the dictionary. I never asked anybody, but I understood them. I developed an insight and understanding of those words because I kept hearing them again and again. I kept reading them again and again. They were frequently, in front of me. So I develop an understanding. That is what happens. Now, you want to skip this process. Then what do you want?
That all my then a faster like vocabulary.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Faster means what? That I don't want to do it all. I want to learn fast.
No, they-
I told you already the yag process, the 75,000 rupees, teen tang wala murga, Yeah, you arrange those things and I will make sure that you learn fast. Faster.
Sir,
10 years you were at school and you couldn't learn. And now you want to learn faster. Don't trigger me, okay? There is no faster process. It only shows that you are not enjoying the process. If somebody is on the train and they are impatient to get to the destination, what does it mean? They're happy on the journey, not happy on the journey. There is no need to say anything, right? So somebody who is so desperate, yes, you're making good efforts. That's okay. You're enjoying it. You are studying all day. You're doing lots of exercises. You're listening to lots of songs in English, watching videos in English. This shows you're enjoying the process. But you read one story and you say, how can I learn a lot? Then you're not enjoying the process.
So what I want to say, from where I learn the word I come across, from where I learn.
Okay, that's a good question. Where do you see those uncommon words more often? Oh, that's a good question. I would like to answer that. When you are reading fiction, a story about a fairy or a king or a queen, a boy and a girl, then you will come across words which are common normally. Fiction doesn't teach you a lot of words which are ideas because fiction it is, you have to imagine things like romance, thriller, suspense, sometimes, horror stories. But when you are reading non-fiction, it means it's not about some imaginary situation or world. It is about what's happening, okay? There are lots of ideas. For example, where do you think you will come across the word etymology? You will come across this word etymology when you are not reading fiction. If you're reading fiction, the word etymology is very, very unlikely to appear. Even if you read 1,000 stories about a boy, girl, or a suspense thriller, a murder mystery, or anything, the word etymology is very unlikely to be there. Because, like I said, there are words which are part of academic, formal, non-fiction discussions. Today, in class 6, there was this phrase I taught them: contemporary ecological challenges. Contemporary ecological challenges. In class 6, this phrase was there in the book. Do you understand these words? Contemporary ecological challenges. So you were supposed to read them in class 6 and understand them. You had 1 year to finish class 6 book and then go on to class 7. Then you had 1 year. 1 year is a lot of time. Won't you agree? To finish one book and learn all the words. That's why, Ayat, as you are moving from one class to another class, your vocabulary is increasing year by year. Every book teaches you new words. Every book has a stories, poems, sometimes non-fiction essays and stuff, and you read them. And each story, each lesson, each unit brings new vocabulary to your lexicon. So this is what you skipped. You skipped. Accept it first. Okay, be honest about it. You skipped it. What Ayat is doing at this age, slowly and slowly, you skip that process. You woke up late. You woke up a little late as an adult. Nothing wrong. It's never too late. It's never too late. You realize that you need to work on your English, fair enough. Now, be patient and continue the process. Where will you find those words that you want to learn, uncommon words? When you're reading non-fiction. Now, there are pages in the newspaper where people write their opinions on so many issues happening in the world. Newspaper can be a great way to improve your vocabulary. The Times of India, nowadays we are online, we are always online. You can read any newspaper from anywhere. You can read New York Times, here in Biharship, because you are online. It was impossible until a few years ago to read the newspaper from America or England, right? You can listen to debates, discussions on Talk TV, which is a news channel in the UK, Sky News, which is a channel again in the UK. Every discussion, they have live telecast, by the way, on YouTube. You will find live telecast of the proceedings in the London, in the English Parliament, in the UK Parliament. All the discussion, proceedings are in English, formal English. I love listening to those things. I've enjoyed those things. This is how you improve your vocabulary. You need to enjoy the process. You never ask yourself, when will I learn? You only just learn something and you feel happy about it. If anybody is impatient, they don't have to say it from their mouth. It means that they are not enjoying the process. Like I said, when you start to learn as an adult, it's always challenging. They have different kind of challenge. Students like Ayat are a delight for teachers because she's a child. She has the advantage of a child's age, that she's young, tender. She'll learn faster because she's young. She has not matured yet. So she'll learn fast. Her language abilities, are shaping. They're getting better. But at the same time, she has the sincerity of an adult. She has the sincerity of an adult. This is a great combination. Normally what happens, I have other 10-year, 9-year-old children in my class, I have to scold them to study. They don't want to study. They have zero sincerity. Sincerity, zero. They have the ability to learn because they're kids. They will learn fast. But they don't want to. I have to make them. I have to scold them to look at me, to listen to me. Otherwise, they're always busy talking to the person sitting next to them in the class. They have zero sincerity. If I tell them that there is no class today, they'll be happy actually. If I say there will be no class tomorrow, they will be even happier. If I tell them there will be no class for 1 year, they will think it is the best school. It is closed for 1 year, So that's how they think. not sincere at all. So what I'm saying is students like Ayat is a delight, are a delight for teachers because they bring the best of both the worlds. They bring the sincerity of adults and they bring the ability to learn, the hunger of a child. Great combination. You missed that because you're no longer Ayat's age. So you have the sincerity, okay? Because mature here because somebody pushed you. You guys are here because you made a choice that you wanted to learn English and you joined the class. So you need to be sincere. We expect you to be sincere. Your challenge is different because you've already become mature. Learning is a little difficult for you because you have matured age-wise, Your language needs are over. You already have a language, Hindi, your mother tongue. So for you to learn a new language is unnatural. For her to learn a language is natural. If I'm talking to Ayat in English, then it is her natural need to understand me because she's a kid and she wants to make sense of what I'm saying. And her mind is at that stage in that, I will say at that age where it will automatically figure out things if she's given constant exposure. A lot of adults will not understand anything, even if they have the exposure, because their mind has already matured so much and they're not as intelligent to make sense on their own. They need to be told. A lot of people go to America, Canada, in their 40s, in their 50s, they never learn English. Despite living in America or Canada or the UK, they never learn English. They surround themselves most of the time with the Hindi speakers or Punjabi speakers, the language they speak themselves. And they rarely, if ever, allow themselves the exposure. And even if they have the exposure, they will learn limited amount because they are in their late age. Okay. So where will you find those words? When you're reading magazines which do not have fiction, which talk about real issues, then you will come across words which are less common in conversation. There are words which are common in spoken English when people are talking. And there are words which are more common in written English when you write essays. All right. Contemporary. I mean, it's not a word that you will not hear if you're listening to people who are educated. Okay. There are words which are part of educated people's vocabulary. Okay. Only educated people use. Okay. For example, charam. In a Hindi, it's a Hindi word, charam. So charam is the highest point. Who do you think will use the word charam in their conversation? An educated person or an uneducated person? Obviously. So there are a few words which are commonly used by everybody. They are called the most common words, we use them to communicate in our day-to-day life conversation. But those words are not enough if you want to have mastery of a language. You need to have a big passive vocabulary. No matter what somebody uses, which word, which phrase, you should be able to understand what they're saying. And it cannot be achieved. This kind of ability cannot be achieved in a year or two, especially when you did not do anything at school. Rasana is a great learner, very quick learner. She started a few years ago as an adult in her late 60s. She started. She can communicate in English very well. She writes English pretty well. But I'm pretty sure if I share with articles, essays in English, she will not be able to understand much of it because she has not heard those words maybe. So wherever you put your target, you have to work accordingly. Your effort should be in accordance in the same proportion as your target. If you aim to be really good at English, you have to make a lot of efforts too. Making a small efforts and expecting big results is delusional. It never happens. You only get disappointment. So always watch your efforts, what you're doing, and expect in the same proportion the results. Got it? Yeah. By the way, the text that you shared, okay, do you have words there that you want my attention on? Are there some words I would like to read? Okay, I would like to share with the class as well. Is it in the group? Yes. Share, put it in the group. In most towns, like Viharship, spoken English basically means you can communicate in English with a few common words. I want to do this, I want to do that, and people think you're done. But I don't aim to teach only that. This is why I'm very happy about the fact that I'm teaching at school. Okay. Because when I have students like Ayat in my classes, and I'm lucky that I have a lot of students like Ayat in the school, they are like each year they will learn something and move on to another year without expecting that why I'm not doing this, why I'm not doing that. Yeah. Can you please crop the photo, just the text? Crop the photo, just the text, please, so that I can read better. I'm going to read that text for you all, just to let you know. You can never, ever say that, okay, I'm done, it's enough, okay? You can always continue. What he has put in the group, the photo, the text, it's not spoken English. It's good non-fiction language, okay? There will be lots of words and phrases that you guys can benefit from. Unfamiliar words and phrases. Apurva will be very comfortable reading that. Ansika will be very comfortable reading that, because Apurva and Ansika, both of them have a good passive vocabulary. They will find it not that difficult. Yasmin ma'am will not find it very difficult. Let's read. Is it there now? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Guys, I'm sharing it with you on my screen here. Let's read. Some of us do this more than others, but it's only a matter of degree. Somebody will do less, somebody will do more. It's only a matter of degree. Besides the changes, means we all do it. Some of us do this more than others, but it's only a matter of degree. Some people do it more, some people do it less, but we all do it. What is this it? Besides the changes in technology, besides means other than the changes in technology, we are told to believe in our uniqueness above all else. We are told to believe in what? Our uniqueness. We are unique. Believe in our uniqueness. Believe in this more than anything else. We are told to think big, live big, to be memorable, and dare greatly. We are told to think big, live big. This is what our parents tell us. Make your life count. They say become an IAS officer. They don't say become a constable. Right? They say become a big doctor. They don't say become a compounder. Okay? They ask you to live big, think big, to be memorable. Even after you die, people will remember your name. That's what your parents want. I also want the same from my child. And dare greatly. But I have my own defense. I will talk about it a bit later. Dare greatly. Dare means to show courage. Be fearless. We think that success requires a bold vision. This is what we think. Success requires a bold vision. Vision means an idea that this is what I have to do, a vision. The one meaning of vision is eyesight. His vision is not very good, right? But vision means also what you expect, what you want. We have opened this school with a vision. We have opened this school with a vision. It's not just to make money. We think that success requires a bold vision or some sweeping plan, a big plan. Oh, this will happen and everything will be all good. A sweeping plan. After all, that's what the founders of this company or that championship team supposedly had. After all, that's what means we are talking about a sweeping plan, a bold vision. That's what some champion team had, some champion teams had, or some successful companies had, you know. So we believe that this is what we need. But did they? Did they really? You know, a lot of successful people are not very honest. Human beings are always prone to having a weakness for glory. So when we become successful, then we start telling stories which are not really very true. Stories which will make us look good. Nobody wants to say, oh, I was just lucky I got successful. Because when you say that, then you are saying no to glory. You say, yes, I had a plan. I used to study hard. I used to do this. I used to do that. I had this idea. I had this vision. A lot of successful people speak bullshit. They don't tell you the truth of what exactly happened with them. So this book or this passage so far is trying to say that not all the successful people had sweeping plan, big plan. Please, Sameer, mute yourself. Or a sweeping plan or a big vision. That's not how it has always started. We see risk-taking swagger and successful people in the media and eager for our own successes, try to reverse engineer the right attitude, the right pose. Now look at this language, reverse engineer. Now this reverse engineer means what? To learn something, how to make something by opening it. You see a machine, don't know how it is made, then you start to open the machine, undo the parts. Then you figure out, okay, this is reverse engineering. Engineer means to make something. Reverse engineering, China is a master in reverse engineering. They make copies of everything. You know, they take BMW, they undo it, okay, and they say, let's make this. Reverse engineering. Risk-taking swagger, you know, people who show off a lot, swaggers, you know, like we say swag, you know, it's a person who has swag is a swagger, okay? We see risk-taking swagger and successful people in the media and eager for our own success. We also want to be successful, you know, try to reverse engineer the right attitude, the right pose. We also try to do what they did, reverse engineer. Swag is a style, attitude, you know, there, huh? I don't know. Okay, let's move on. We intuit a casual relationship. Now, this word intuit or intuition, as okay? This is the verb of intuition. Intuition means something that we feel inside. We can't explain, right? We intuit a casual relationship that isn't there. We start to imagine there is a relationship, okay, that isn't there. Actually, that isn't there. We assume the symptoms of success. अभी ये सारे वर्ड्स जैसे आप सुन रहे हैं, मुझे पता they are very common words in English, but for us people they are not common words. यहाँ देखना, assume, symptoms, you know, ये सारे words कई लोग, however, when you talk about diseases, symptom is a common word, okay? But in another context, symptom is not something you use a lot. Are the same as success itself, and in our naivete. Now, ये क्या होता है naivete? The naive, the quality of being naive. Naive means too innocent. For example, somebody said, I will take a friend you met at school, you know, he said nice things about you, you're my best friend, this and that. Next day, he told you he was in trouble, he needed help. You gave him 2,000 rupees. Okay. And now he's sitting on another bench, not talking to you. So what were you, naive that you fell for it, you know, that somebody became your best friend in one day and next day he's asking for money? So this is clear-cut sign that he is not your best friend, he's using you, but you fell for it because you were too innocent, then you are naive. Naive is a negative word, okay? Innocent is a positive word. I describe you as innocent, I like here. I describe you as a naive, I'm criticizing you. Don't be so naive. All right. I don't want the Hindi word. ठीक है, मैंने explanation दिया. भोला is a positive word. वो बहुत भोला है. बुरा है कि अच्छा है? अच्छा है. He is very naive, okay? I'm not very happy about it.
Sir,
Naive people like you are not good for this post. But we can't use the word innocent people like you are not good for this post. No, we can't use it. Innocent is used in a positive way. Listen to also when I'm speaking. And then when you hold on to your question and ask. I allow everybody to ask questions, but you show interest in listening to me. Okay, that's important. Naive is a positive, negative word. It doesn't have a positive feeling. If you describe somebody as naive, you're not saying something nice about them. When you're describing them as innocent, you are happy about them. So there are situations where innocence is a quality, is a good thing. But there are situations where the same quality becomes a problem. Right or wrong? When children lisp, we like it. We want to hear the same thing again and again from them. Right? When small children, when they lisp, when they don't speak clearly, it sounds so sweet. Very good quality in that moment. But when 10 years later, the child still has lisp, now it has become a problem. Everybody is making fun of him. For the same quality that people liked him, now they're mocking him, ridiculing him. So understand, qualities are good or bad depending on the context, the situation. Patience is a great quality. But somebody who's attacking you with a knife and you're showing patience there is not good. You have to act straight next moment. Save yourself, attack the other person maybe. So qualities, we have words which can have a positive, positive, we call it negative connotation. Positive connotation, negative connotation, means feeling wise. The idea is very much the same. Okay. But like I said, stingy and let's say stingy has a negative connotation. When you describe somebody as a stingy, miserly, you're describing them in a negative light. Okay. When you like it, then you have other words. That somebody who doesn't like wasting money, right? So you have to learn. This is what you do when you improve your vocabulary to the next level. For the same idea, you can have two different words. One which goes in a positive way, one which goes in a negative way. Yes, beta, what were you saying? Now don't tell me I forgot. This is not you're allowed to do, okay? When you have a question, you have to hold on to your question.
and you said that the person is very like he
Have the
doesn't throw the money and
Mm.
he doesn't put the money in right place. And
wasteful.
actually, I mean to say that he doesn't he always
Wastes his money.
catch the money.
Okay.
But he doesn't do for right things, like he doesn't buy and doesn't buy clothes in 2 years. This is not a good thing. I know.
Again, it can, listen girl, opinions should not be conformed with somebody. That's your opinion. All right?
But
I'm just saying that opinions should not be conformed. Opinions are opinions. You should know what you're saying is an opinion or a fact. You should know. Everybody from class 3, we start talking about it in classes. Okay? We give this idea in the minds of the students. Some statements are facts, some statements are opinions. The world is round. Opinion or a fact? The world is moving because of the will of God. Opinion. Opinion of the people who believe in God. There are other people who don't believe in God and they don't agree with it. So it is just an opinion of the people who believe in God. So from class 3, you need to develop an ability to separate opinion and facts. And those people who mix them up are always in trouble in life. When you mix up opinion and facts, sometimes what happens, some opinions are considered facts because they come from experts. Let me explain what I mean. You have a health issue. You go to a doctor. The doctor says this. It is still considered an opinion, because when you don't agree with it, then you are allowed to have a second opinion. Second opinion means go to see another doctor if you don't agree with this doctor. I hope you understand. Now that doctor has some expertise. He has spent several years at college studying human body. So he made an opinion. He made a comment. It could be true. Another doctor confirms he also has the same opinion. Now both the people have the same opinion. You go ahead with the treatment. You're fine. You're cured. So what they said was right, but it was still an opinion because of their expertise. We trusted that opinion. And I hope you understand what I mean. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So please understand the difference between facts and opinions. One doctor says you have this problem. Another doctor looks at the same symptoms and comes to a slightly different opinion because he values one particular factor in your symptoms more. Then he changes his opinion. Now, two doctors have two different opinions about your disease, about your ailment. So please do not mix up opinions and facts. So when I said this this earth is moving because of the will of God, again, even if you are a firm believer in God, even if you are a very, very firm believer in God, your mind should not be stupid enough to say this is a fact. You should say, yes, for us believers, this is our opinion. This is what we believe. We believers, we believe in God, and we believe that the earth is moving because of God. This is called smartness. But if you say, no, it is a fact, then again, there will be no discussion with you on any topic because you do not know the difference between opinion and facts. I'm not trying to take away anything from your belief. Yes, fine, you believe, but this statement is an opinion because there are people who don't agree with this opinion. Now you will say, from that perspective, the earth is round is also an opinion, sir, because there are people who don't agree with it. Now, some people will say that Vinay sir is not sitting here. Then Vinay sir is sitting here is an opinion now because some people don't agree. They are delusional. Now, you can go to that extent and say those who don't believe in God, they are delusional. That's another opinion again. So smartness lies in separating opinion and facts. And if you are really militant about it, if you're really aggressive about it, about your opinions, you want to push your opinion as facts militantly with aggression, why won't you agree? I will say you're a problem as a human. You're a problem as a human. Yeah. When you do not allow other people to have their opinion, when you know what you're saying is your opinion, but you do not want to allow other people to have their opinion, then you're a problem. You can just say, okay, let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. Two people can have two different opinions about the performances of a government. One person can believe that the government has done more good things, and another person can say the government has done more bad things. Now, what is it? Their opinions. So they can still remain friends saying, let's agree to disagree. In your opinion, the government has done more good things. In my opinion, the government has done more bad things, or the other way around. Let's agree to disagree. The smartness lies there, not in bringing a knife and putting it through his stomach and saying, Sala manega nahi baat. Okay. You're a problem as a human.
Some people say or not.
Take a look here. And in our naivete, confuse the byproduct with the cause. Because we are naive, we don't understand what do? We confuse the byproduct with the cause. What is a byproduct? We consider it a cause. Cause means something that makes something happen. And byproduct is a result. Money is the byproduct of a passion, and following your career passionately. If you follow your career passionately, then money is a byproduct. You don't have to chase money. Okay. You follow your career passionately and you will always have money. Nine times out of 10 or 9.9 times out of 10, you will have money when you follow your career passionately. Right? Now, somebody would say that money is the reason why he's working. Okay, then there is confusion there, right? Money is a byproduct, not the cause, not the reason. So sometimes what happens, we don't understand what has happened. Success is a byproduct. Okay, it happens because of certain things we do. Let's see. Sure, ego has worked for some. Now, ego, what does it mean here? We have to go more in depth of this text, this book, then I will understand what ego means. Ego has multiple meanings. All right, ego means self. Ego means an idea, valuing yourself a little too much. Ego can have multiple meanings. So we need to understand the context to understand the meaning. Ego has worked for some. Many of history's most famous men and women are or were notoriously egotistical. Now, this I understand here. Ego means valuing yourself more, considering yourself special. Ego, I. Alexander the Mahan, Sikandar Mahan, Alexander the Great. That guy definitely considered himself special. That's why he decided that he wanted to conquer the world. Why are we not starting this? Because we don't consider ourselves that great. So ego has worked for some people. Having this opinion that you are better than others, you are somebody special, you're not like others, that feeling has definitely helped some people. Notoriously egotistical. Now, somebody who is egotistical values themselves like this, I'm special, I have something, and notoriously means very, very, egotistical. Think about Hitler? We still talk about him. Whatever he did, okay, good, bad. He is a man that history will not forget. But so were many of its greatest failures. For far more of them, in fact. But here we are with a culture that urges us to roll the dice, to make the gamble, ignoring the stakes. So ये सब समझने के लिए आपको अपने इंग्लिश लेवल को एडवांस लेवल पे लेके जाना होता है. अभी आप किस लेवल पे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं? प्री इंटरमीडिएट पे. If you spend the way you have been studying for another couple of years, you will not find these things very difficult to understand. Got it? Otherwise, these things will remain out of your reach. It is out of reach for a lot of people who studied in English medium all their lives, and they don't understand these things. So that's the reason why English is considered the language of the elite here in India, still very much. I went to that mall, City Central Mall, Central City Mall, whatever it is called in Patna, and there was a shop for books, bookshop there. I couldn't find one Hindi book there. Who comes to that mall? Very rich people. Okay. And you know what? All the books were in English. What does it show you? What does it prove? That in India, English speaking people are usually rich people. There are people who also speak English now in the last 30, 40 years, since 1990, since globalization started to happen here, we have a middle class in our group, which also speaks some English. Okay. Earlier, elite class only spoke English. You know that in India. So it is very much the same. The people, middle class people speak some English. They can communicate, they can have a job. Okay. But they cannot appreciate the literature, English literature or books in English. That's not very common. They can just answer some questions in English. They can prepare some projects in English. That's it. Taking help from here and there. So if you want to get to that level, you have to wait, you have to work hard. You're setting a big target for yourself, okay? So be patient and work hard for that. You don't become an IAS officer after 6 months of preparation, like that. You can become a bank clerk with 6 months preparation, possible. But to be an IAS officer, You have to work really hard for several years, if not many. Okay? And then you stand a real chance. Yep. I just tried to put things in perspective for you all. Okay? We call it a spoken English class, but I just wanted to let you know that this is not just one spoken English class. Okay? We are trying to help you guys understand what you need to do in order to achieve the targets you have set for yourselves. Okay? We are making efforts every day here. Right. Time to check out what you have done with the video. I'm going to play the video. We have half an hour.
When I read these tests, I can understand it easily, but I'm not able to speak. And when I listen, I'm struggling that too. But if I am reading anything, I almost get everything.
I don't 100% agree with what you're saying. Let me explain what I mean. Understanding the gist of the matter is one thing. Appreciating everything is another. When these books are written, they are not only successful because of the content, they're also successful because of the style of writing. You know, somebody is a writer not just because they have something to say. They have something to say and say it in a style. If you look at the language, the flow, why some sentences have just 2-3 words? Take a look at the text you have shared. Some sentences have just 3 words, 4 words, not a verb, just a phrase as a sentence. Okay? Some have more words. Some are lengthy sentences, like 20-word sentences. So when you say that you understand everything, I hear you, and I want to tell you, you feel that you understand everything, okay? But if I start questioning over everything there, you might get in trouble, actually. So you understand the gist of the matter, which is also a big thing, okay? You keep reading, keep reading. This is what was my situation until a few years ago. I could understand the gist of the matter. I continued with it, okay? Paying attention to every phrase I read. Slowly and slowly, I developed an understanding where I can explain the way the sentences have been worded. The way the sentences have put together, the words have been put together, I can explain that as well. So for that, again, you have to go beyond this feeling on, okay? Sometimes, again, accent can be a problem when you're listening to somebody. You are listening to an unfamiliar accent. Okay. Of course, you won't understand them as well as you understand other accents, the accents that you're familiar with. So there are factors you should be familiar with, that these are the factors which play a role, and you should not doubt yourself all the time. Okay? Someone who doubts themselves all the time is not good either. It's not good for your learning. You should know this is my level, this is where I stand, and I need to take it higher. Trust in yourself that I have reached this level, I have this kind of ability, I can understand this kind of English, I need to take it higher, need to work in the right way. Like I said, do not need to work with very difficult things. If I ask you guys to read the Hindu newspaper, which is famous for its complex language and unfamiliar vocabulary use, then I wouldn't be doing you a favor. I would ask you to read something that you understand 90%, 80%, 90% without any outside help. Keep reading that kind of stuff. And then over time, you will get there. Don't forget, I+1 idea given by that linguist, I'm forgetting the name again, which is my bad habit. I always forget the names in the nick of time, when I need those names, So his ideas have not been challenged. I+1, whatever your level is, you can add 1+1 to it. That's it. You can only go +1. You cannot go +2, +3. Even if you're reading +2, +3 level, it will not help you. So what is +1? In more practical sense, I'll say, you're reading a text that you find 95% easy to understand, 90% easy to understand, only 5% challenge. That kind of text will help you. That kind of audio will help you. If you're reading something that is 70% easy, 30% difficult, it will not help you as much. Again, even if you're listening to 70-30, you will first learn 1% that you need. Wherever your level is, you will just grow by 1% and then 1% and then 1% like that. I plus one idea actually works. Plus one here means just the next thing, just the next thing. So are you ready for the question answers with the video? What? Not getting your question. You could ask me in Hindi too, if you want. T-H-E-R-E?
There.
D-A-R-E. Dare. D-A-R-E. Dare, dare, dare. D-A-R-E. Dare. Yeah. Dare. You know, if you dare greatly, it means you have a lot of dare. You have a lot of strength, you know, ability to put your fears behind you and do something. Dare. A daring person has a lot of dare. Okay. Dare is a verb, there is a noun. See, I know what I'm doing makes you feel that I'm teaching you, but you actually learn when you are learning systematically. Okay. I dare you. Now I'm doing what? I'm challenging you, means I dare you. Okay. So he dares to do things which other people fail to do. It means he has the courage to do something. He dares to do, right? So unless you see the sentences, example sentences, you don't understand a word. No matter whatever I say, okay? Listen to this. I was impressed by his dare. Now here, dare is a noun because I was impressed by his something, okay? So dare is a noun too. It's a big dare. It's a big dare. So dare is a noun as well. Dare is a verb. I dare you is a very common use. I dare you, I challenge you, okay? Do you dare to do something? It means, do you have the courage to do it? Okay? These are common words, but the problem is in the absence of quality teachers, though these words are there in our books, our academic books, I'm pretty sure everybody has read the word dare in their book in schools, you know, in class 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere you read the word dare. But the thing is that you became familiar with the word dare, the sound, maybe the basic idea, that's it. You do not really value the sentence as much as you should because the focus is on translating the sentence. Am I right? In schools, teachers always translate the sentence and the students also expect the teachers to translate the sentence. Sometimes I spend 10 minutes talking about a sentence without translating it. 10 minutes on one sentence talking about what's written there without translating it. A lot of students love that kind of teaching, you know, lesson. And some students say, Hindi to bateve nikal kun, because they're not interested in it, okay, in the language. Yeah. Beneath means underneath. Beneath means underneath, under something, beneath. The word beneath you will come across only in literature and in colloquial in conversation. The word beneath is very rarely used. A very common expression that comes to my mind is, it is beneath me to go and ask for money. You know, it means I consider myself too good that I will not do it. If it's something is beneath me, you know, then I don't think I should do it. You know, I'm too good to do that. That kind of sentence, right, beta? It is beneath you. All right. Maharaj ji aapko shobha nahi deta. Very good understanding. Yes, that's what I was saying. Okay. I have been a superstar. It is beneath me to go to directors and say, give me a role. Got it. तो वर्ड्स को सीखें. अगेन, मैं इंग्लिश मैन तो नहीं हूं, लेकिन जो थोड़ा बहुत जानता हूं, ठीक है ना, वो एक ही वजह से सीखा होगा ना, वो वजह बता दो तुम सब अपने कॉमन सेंस के साथ। एग्जैक्टली लोग इतना नहीं सुनते जितना मैं सुनता हूँ, बस इतनी सी बात है। इसके क्योंकि एक लाइफ मिला आपको, यू हैव जस्ट वन लाइफ, और आपने बिता दी उसको क्या करते हुए? English with. I'm 45 years old. Last 20 years, I have been just doing one thing, living English, not learning or teaching English. I am living English. I have been living English for last 20 years. Okay. That's why. Again, what I have done with so much hard work, for some people, it's so natural. There are a lot of people, they are native speakers of English. They never did anything. They had fun in life, but English is their mother tongue. But for me, being from Bihar Sharif, having the skills in English sets me apart from other people. Not because I'm a native speaker of English. That for them, it's not an achievement that they have the skills in English. I have great skills in Hindi. It's not an achievement for me. It's my mother tongue. But when you have good skills in another language, especially without having been to that country, where that language is spoken, it takes a lot of efforts. So it's a very, very rare thing to achieve when you are living in a place like Bihar Sharif and you set such targets, okay? Especially at a later age. If you had started as a kid, I met a guy in Patna, Ravi introduced me to him. Fantastic, the way he spoke English, really good. And he had correction, accuracy in his language too. It was not just show off. He was just 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. How old was he, Ravi?
18.
18 years old, right? 18 years old. I met him only, uh, how long ago was your wedding, Apurva? 6 months?
In a February.
In February, okay? So in February, I met him there. An 18-year-old boy, fantastic, he got interested, in English as a young kid. He went to an English medium school and he got super interested. What I did later in my life, he did that early in his life. He's fantastic. He talks like, Shashi Tharoor. Okay, he can copy the accent as well. He doesn't speak in an Indian accent. And it's all natural to him. He doesn't fake it. He has made it his own. And because he started at a young age, I had a student in Bihar Sharif who was very similar, but again, he started as a little later when he was 18, 19. He also achieved that kind of level, okay? But like I said, later, he started later. So he was not as accurate, as good as him, the guy in Patna. Fantastic. And he is also a writer. He has the, I will say, the talent of a writer. He knows how to write. He writes beautifully. He makes good. Some people have great ability to use words in a beautiful way. And it is a natural ability. They don't learn it. Yes, they hone the skill by practicing. Like, you're born with a singing voice and then you practice every morning and you sing better. But there are people who don't have a singing voice. You've seen so many videos, reels, they sing and everybody laughs, right? Because they don't have a singing voice. No matter how hard they practice, they cannot achieve that skill, that kind of singing voice. So sometimes you need to understand where you're coming from. To appreciate what you have achieved, you need to appreciate your starting point as well. I know a guy in Bihar Sharif, his name is Mukund. He didn't sing very well. He didn't have a singing voice by birth, okay? But he was so passionate about, this singing thing. He learned to play musical instruments, 2-3 musical instruments. And today I will say he plays well and he sings much better than earlier. But of course, you can't expect him to, compete with somebody who is a natural singer. He has worked on his voice. He has practiced hard. He has trained his voice, but he didn't have that natural, beautiful voice, singing voice. So he sounds much better than earlier, which is a great achievement. I will say I respect him for what he has done, but he can't compete with a few girl or boy children I have, boy students I have in my school. They're natural singers. They just open their mouth, they sing 2 lines, and it sounds so beautiful. They have not done any hard work. They have not done any hard work. Zero hard work. They just have this natural singing voice. So if you're comparing them, you should know who has achieved what in what way. Talent is great, but sometimes talent, doesn't appreciate hard work. If you call somebody talented, sometimes you are not appreciating their hard work. You need to understand that. Being talented is being lucky. Yes or no? If you are born with a talent, a singing talent or a dancing talent, then you are just lucky. But if you practice it and improve your skills, then you deserve credit. People will still admire you for your talent, no doubt. We can't help it. When we see a very good-looking person, don't we give them compliments? But what have they done for their good looks? You think they did anything special? They had long baths every day? They did some yoga exercise to have good looks? They did nothing. They inherited it from their parents. Coincidence, that their features were so, I would say, proportionate, that they look good to your eyes, they are easy on your eyes. On the other hand, their siblings sometimes can look a little weird. Just the proportions goes off a little bit and good looks become something totally different. Compare Amir Khan and his brother Faisal Khan. Very similar faces. But Amir Khan looks chocolatey and honest and someone you can trust. He looks that way because of the features he has. On the other hand, his brother, who looks very similar, but you don't find him easy to trust because of his looks. Your heart will want to trust Amir Khan because of the way he looks. I'm pretty sure when he was young, lots of girls would have thought, oh, he's such a nice guy. How do you know somebody is a nice guy looking at their face? Niceness is not on your face, is it? Niceness is in your thoughts. Niceness is a quality of the face or thoughts. We look at somebody and we say, you're very innocent looking, but not innocent. This girl, she looks so innocent, but is she? Okay, so we have a weakness for what we see in our visuals. So talent will always get appreciated, but we should understand we should not undermine the importance of hard work. And when we should appreciate somebody more when they have achieved something despite lack of talent because of their sheer hard work. Got it? I have chats here. Let's read. Ravi has written. He hasn't even passed his 10th grade. Okay, that guy I'm talking about. Okay. Very young boy, very young. Okay. So today's class was more about perspective, We are not sitting in this class to become Englishmen. We are sitting here to understand, appreciate English in a way that we do not make nonsense of English sentences. We should make sense of them. Our interpretation should not be far from what is being said in the sentences. That's our aim mainly. Got it? And when we achieve that, because of the communication I have with you, you start to respond in English too, slowly and slowly. But it is impossible to respond in English if you don't have a good understanding of English. I will always give the example of the same person, Sunita. She speaks a lot, but she doesn't understand much. And that's why it is difficult to hold a conversation with her in English. She speaks alone, one-sided. A lot of sentences she speaks.
Start understanding English by listening.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, that's the best, most important lesson everybody needs to appreciate. Children don't learn from books. They learn from sounds. My class 1 children, they understand English. I think my class 1 students are better than any other school's children in class 1. Right now, I can make this challenge. Class 1 children, you might find 1 or 2 children elsewhere in one class that they are very talented. I'm sure there are some very talented children. They have a special talent. They understand things. But here, majority of them, the children who come from very weak families and the children who come from very uneducated backgrounds, even they will appreciate English in class 1 in our school. And majority of them. Why? Because they are constantly listening to English every single day. For last 6 months, they have been listening to English. So they understand a lot of English now.
That class students can
May not be able to understand a lot of English, right? Some of them. Yeah, it's possible, very much possible. It's possible. Again, not their fault, not their fault, not their fault. I will not use this to bring them down, to put them down. I will not say this to insult them, to criticize them. I will say this only with this fact that you need exposure to understand English or any language. Hey, listen. There are children, okay, they are naughty by nature, okay, they find it hard to focus on one. There are a couple of children in our class, okay, in class 1. Every teacher agrees that they don't listen, okay. So this is their nature. They find it hard to focus on one thing for too long. There are 2 siblings, a brother and sister. The sister is a lot more focused. She's a couple of years younger and they're both in the same class. The brother is 2 years older. He is still in that class and he finds it hard to focus. I figured out that maybe because he uses mobile phone a lot, his mother accepted that he comes home and he just starts using the phone. And he's been doing it for a long time. And he's only 9 years old. Okay. So clearly it is a big problem for him. Children should not have this mobile phone. They lose their ability to focus. Their attention span becomes shorter because of this. So a big problem, mobile phones. The point was that there are such children. They don't want to listen. Not to me. They don't want to listen to any teacher with focus. Okay. Yeah. In my case, it's harder because I'm speaking a new language. So it is a bigger challenge for them. But still, they are much better than what they were 6 months ago. They could not understand me at all. Now they understand a lot better. And this is a continual process. This has to continue. They will not leave school after class 1. They will go to class 2. I'm there. Another year with me. Then they will move on to class 3. I'm there. Another year with me. And what do I do in their class? Just like in your class, I'm talking to you in English. I do the same with them. Initially, it was very difficult for me when you have children looking at you and you're talking in a language they don't understand. Then you have to use a lot of your imagination and skills as a teacher to communicate your ideas. In your class, I feel a lot comfortable. I have to sit and talk. Okay, I'm not making special efforts with my hands and gestures and all. But in a class where they don't understand my language, how can I just go on? I have to say big, I have to say small, I have to do this all the time. It was hard. But like I said, I'm ready for the challenge. We are enjoying it. Yeah.
So, sir, as you said, so people have to have better understanding of English to understand English. So how can
क्या बात बोला है? People have to have better understanding of English to understand English. हाँ, लोगों को समोसा खाने के लिए समोसा खाना पड़ेगा. लोगों को समोसा खाना है तो समोसा खाना पड़ेगा. तो पहले ये बात को मजा तो कर लो. People have to have good understanding of English to understand English. ये मैं बोल रहा हूँ. ऐसे तुम्हारा common sense ये नहीं कहता कि if you want to understand English, you need to have a good understanding. नहीं तो नहीं समझ पाओगे.
No, sir, you said, sir, to understand English, you have to get a good understanding. So
Again, you said the same thing. Huh?
how can we build the understanding?
Build this, and again, he's asking, how do we build this understanding? What are we doing constantly here every day? These children have already improved. Last 2 months they've been coming here. They have already improved. If you notice the way they're putting words together, there is a small improvement in the way they're putting words together. Again, we will not go there. We are not going to measure it. There is no machine to measure that improvement. I can sense it. Okay. So what have they been doing? Listening. Listen and read. Listen and read. These are the only 2 activities to improve your understanding. When you speak, when you write, you don't do anything to your understanding. To improve your understanding of English, you have only 2 activities. What are those 2? Through your eyes, you put English messages to your brain, or through your ears, you put messages to your brain. That's it. There are no third activity. Okay, there isn't a third activity. There are only two. Got it? 75,000 rupee, teen pair wala murga, and kala moti with a white dot on it, right? Yes, you remember the third process too, third method. Yeah. Very sharp. Okay. Yeah, that's the third one. Yeah.
With those things, you also needed the
Yeah, Purohit. I have to be the Purohit. Yes, absolutely.
mix it in, blend it in the mixer, and we have to blend.
तो फिर से बोलूंगा कि ये स्ट्रक्चर ये सिखाता है, इसका इस वर्ड का ये हिंदी होता है, ये सब करने के लिए अच्छी चीजें हैं। अपने आप को भरम में डालते रहते हैं हम लोग, हम इंग्लिश सीख रहे हैं, अच्छी चीज है। लेकिन अगर प्रैक्टिकल सीखना है, ओके, जिसमें आपके मुंह से इंग्लिश बेहतर निकल रहा और आपके कलम से बेहतर इंग्लिश निकले, ये स्किल हासिल करना है। सारी चीजें वेट कर सकती हैं। स्ट्रक्चर, हिंदी वर्ड्स का हिंदी जानना, ये सब चीजें वेट कर रहे हैं, साइड रखिए। एंड जस्ट डू वन थिंग, सिंपल इंग्लिश सुनना शुरू करो, सिंपल इंग्लिश पढ़ना शुरू करो, और देखो रिजल्ट विद इन अ कपल ऑफ मंथ्स, हाउ यू फील। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यह है कि लंबे समय तक बचपन से आपको जो ब्रेन वॉश किया गया है, माइंडसेट दिया गया है, इट्स हार्ड टू गेट रिड ऑफ। इसीलिए मैं सबसे ज्यादा चेंज कहां, किस क्लास की बात करता हूं अपने ये सक्सेस के स्टोरी के बारे में बात करने के लिए? Why class 1? Because they were soft clay. I could mold them the way I wanted. You guys have become a bit hard. When I try to mold, you resist. Mold, M-O-U-L-D. Again, not your fault that you resist, because of your exposure so far, because of the things you have been taught so far. Okay, तो इस पूरे डिस्कशन का क्या है सार? What is the bottom line? जितने बच्चे जानते हैं आप अपने आसपास पड़ोस में, उन सबको क्लास 1 में डाल दीजिए ला, है ना? दिस इज द सार, दिस इज द मैसेज। ठीक है, मैं अपने बिजनेस की बात कर रहा हूँ, है ना दोस्तों? है कि? या राइट, ब्रिंग देम ऑल। या एसटीसी विद्याश्रम। Yes.
Then you teach in this school.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. You didn't know this. Okay.
I think that
I thought.
uh,
मुझे लगा. I thought.
that you have an alliance between two schools and you teach now.
No. It is our family school. We all family members are involved in this because we are. I mean, it's a good coincidence that in Bihar we are a family where 5 members, all speak good English. Me, my brother, my wife, my nephew, my daughter, and we are all making contributions to this school. We are all helping children. We have some plans. Let's see how it goes. Yes, you're right. Okay, I hope you did not feel very bored, because for me, in my humble opinion, whatever we talked about was totally not a waste of time. Even if some of you might think आज पढ़ाई नहीं हुई, no worries. We had a very important discussion about what language learning is about. क्या करना होता है? A lot of people come to class, don't know what they should do. When I ask them to do the exercises, बच्चा क्या किया है? आगे 2-4 पन्ना एक्सरसाइज बना के बैठा हुआ है, ठीक है? उसको लगता है वो इंग्लिश लर्निंग है। I've told you already, वो खाली जगह भरना is never the homework. Put those sentences in your head कि अच्छा ऐसे अरेंज कर सकते हैं words को, and every sentence will be a lesson. Okay, so good luck. And please watch the video I have put in the group about the food. It's a 10-minute video, 8-9-minute video, and I'm going to ask you lots of questions about that video. If you fail to answer, young school children, I'm going to punish you physically or ask you to pay a fine. So you decide. Grown-up persons may have the option to pay the fine, only. They will not be punished physically. Grown-up people are not punished physically. But small children, thappar pe thappar, left, right, I'm a I'm a horrible teacher, Yeah. I play football with my children, you know, left, right, left, right. Instead of kicks, I use my hands. Okay, their head is in the middle. Yeah, exactly that way. Yeah, but a little harder. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care. Enjoy yourselves.
And sir, don't forget to upload this
Bye.
video.
गुड नाइट
Good night, sir.
हम उसको कॉल किए 23 मिनट हो गए 24 मिनट
Shut down what?
Sir, I'm saying don't forget to upload this video.
Okay.